The saddest part for you gentlemen that are dating these borderlines is if they are indeed untreated or undiagnosed, the relationship is doomed to fail. And that is because of love hate cycles. I've dated myself personally several borderline women accidentally. I think they're attracted to me because I'm that Phil type. That's a quote from Lisa LeBlanc. That's protector, helper, integrity, and loving. I'm very protective. I'm very helpful. I try to live my life with integrity. I'm very loving. So they're attracted to loving people like us, like us boyfriends. Um, Protector, helper, integrity, and love. That's what borderline women, narcissistic women are attracted to. And that's why you see these all these good guys with these borderlines getting dragged through the mud. The reason why they're getting dragged through the mud is because oftentimes these borderlines are untreated. Like I just got out of a relationship with a woman that's an untreated borderline, possibly covert narcissist, possibly malignant narcissist because she has antisocial personality disorder. They'll be cruel to you. Like my ex girlfriend puts me on Facebook. That's emotional abuse. She's emotionally abusing me when she does that. She literally has, in the past, tagged me on her Facebook, my literal Facebook name, tagged me on Facebook, and run smear campaigns on me to 1,300 friends. 1,300 friends. So that's 1,300 people that she got to tell everyone that I was this big asshole. She posts memes that make me out to be the bad guy. Why do these female covert narcissists, these malignant narcissists, which is the antisocial personality piece, why do these covert narcissists do this? They do this to set themselves up as a victim. They do this in order to gain sympathy from everybody. She wants everyone on her Facebook to think she's this damsel in distress. That's why when she describes hoovering her ex-boyfriends, when she describes this, she describes them, they call themselves a knight in shining armor. This is a perfect example. They set themselves up as a victim, as a damsel in distress, in order to get all the ex-boyfriends running to be the knight in shining armor. She literally called her ex-boyfriend a knight in shining armor. She would do behaviors, more than likely she was probably cheating on me and telling me the whole time she wasn't. To this day, she swears she's never cheated on me, but she's had men in her bed 3 or 4 nights in a row. She's gone to private men's homes without me. So to tell me that nothing happened, it's just hard for me to believe. I do have trust issues, hoping she's telling the truth. But these covert narcissists will do really cruel things like that. Like to this day, she still has posts about me on Facebook. She has memes that are about me on Facebook. Why is she doing this? It's emotional abuse. That's the first part. She wants me to feel abused. She's trying to hurt me emotionally and as a way of payback. That's the antisocial piece. That an antisocial personality disorder person will hurt you because they feel justified. They feel justified in emotionally abusing you. They feel justified in physically abusing you. They feel justified in hurting you in other ways. Like when she posts me on Facebook, she's hurting me because she's hurting my reputation. It's just things like it's just posts like she's the victim, like she was the victim in our relationship. That she likes to say that her ex boyfriends are all abusers. Even though she was the one pushing all these guys over the edge with her bullshit behaviors. They would go into crisis. They would get arrested at her house, but it was her pushing them over the edge because she was borderline. She would lock them out of the house, and then they'd kick in the back door because she locked them out of the house and they lived there. So she would set them up to get arrested. She would tell me stories about they getting arrested. Her mouth was awful, guys. She said some of the most hurtful, rude, cutting things to me, and that's the antisocial piece. She has antisocial personality disorder. So she's going to be very cruel. She's going to be very cruel in her words, and that's what she was. She was very hurtful to me in her words. She would call me names. She would call me a fag. She would say really, really hurtful things to me. Um, you know, she would do bizarre things like have other men pick her up while we were in a relationship. go to their private homes. These are all boundary issues that should not be happening when somebody's in a relationship. These things should never be happening. Um, but you're going to get this from a covert narcissist. They're going to push your buttons when you do something that makes them upset. They're going to push your buttons. Like, for example, I've told this girl I don't like it when she calls 911 on me. I don't like it when she calls the police on me. That's what she was doing. Every time I would make her upset, she would get on the phone with the police just because she knew it would hurt me emotionally. You know, like the last fight we had, she was escalating in my vehicle. I think it was because of her borderline behaviors, but she's also antisocial too. So she's an antisocial personality with borderline and possibly narcissism. I think everybody has narcissism. Everybody has a smidge of narcissism. I think it goes on a spectrum. But she would do things intentionally to push my buttons. Like the other day when I had to cancel her ride, she gets right on the phone with the police. She tells her daughter to call the police. She's doing this to punish me because I canceled the ride. I literally did nothing wrong. When we get to the police station, I had to drop her off there. That's how out of control she was. When she gets to the police station, she jumps out of the vehicle and is like asking the police for help. This is all designed to make herself look like the victim, to manipulate all the cops into thinking that she's the victim, when in fact, she's the perpetrator. She was the one that was escalating and flipping out my vehicle, and I had given her warnings. I said, if you don't stop escalating, I'm canceling your ride. And she kept going on and on. She told the daughter to tell her counselor that I was yelling in the vehicle, even though I was just raising my voice because of the way she was acting. She was being really, really emotionally abusive in my vehicle, saying all kinds of hurtful things, and I kept giving her warnings to stop, warnings to stop. Then she tells her daughter to tell the counselor to talk shit about me in counseling. I turned the vehicle around and I dropped her off at the police station. As soon as we get there, she jumps out, starts asking the police for help to make herself look like the victim, even though she was the one that was out of control in my vehicle. She was the one that was disorderly in my vehicle. It's called disorderly conduct. You're not supposed to do it while you're out in public. It's disorderly conduct. Borderline women will push the envelope with disorderly conduct. I've had borderline women grab me by the throat outside of buildings, just in a split. It's called splitting. They turn on you. This girl was like, she was like a Jekyll and Hyde. She could be the most friendly, caring, sweet person ever. But then she had this Hyde side that was emotionally abusive. Like, for example, to this day, she still has posts about me on her personal Facebook, talking shit about me, talking trash about me, saying to everybody that I was abusing her emotionally or verbally, things like that, which never happened. I never once did any of that. But she's going to tell everybody that I'm a bad person in order to gain all these knight in shining armors. That's what she's trying to do. They take on the covert female narcissist, especially borderlines as well. They make themselves into be a victim in order to draw all that support to themselves. That way, all these guys, like, for example, there was men commenting about, oh, just call me, I can go down there. They're also very guilty. The female covert narcissist and the borderline is very guilty of manipulation and triangulation. They will triangulate you against other men. For example, when I was at work and she had that other guy take her to Auburn, it's a town in the state I live in. When she had that guy take her to Auburn, what is she actually doing? She said it was just to get groceries because she doesn't have a vehicle. She said it was just to get groceries. But what is she actually doing? She's triangulating me against other men. When other men comment on her posts about me, that's triangulation. She's triangulating other men against me. This is all emotional abuse, guys. This is all emotional abuse to fuck with my mind. I had gone back several times. She wants to tell everybody that I try to use her for a place to stay, even though I have a house, things like that. But yet she's the one that would always beg me to come back. For example, the last breakup we had, she called me up, bawling her eyes out, begging me to come back home. I don't live over there, but she calls it home, begging me to come back home. So that's an example of lying. She's outright lying to her Facebook group, telling everybody that I just stay there. I just want to stay there to manipulate and stay there for a place to stay. When it's her begging me to come back because she's a single mom. She has 2 kids. She's begging me to come back. She has no vehicle. But yet she's going to tell everybody on Facebook that I'm just using her for a place to stay. This is the victim mentality that I'm talking about. She wants all these people to think that she just got out of an abusive relationship, that she's the damsel in distress. This is going to bring all kinds of guys to the yard thinking that they have to, be a protector, that protector, helper, integrity, loving, like I said. It's going to bring all the Phils to the yard. It's called Phil, protector, helper, integrity, loving. It's going to bring all the Phils to the yard. The knights in shining armor will buy into that damsel in distress narrative because they get benefits. Like these guys will probably end up getting sex from my ex-girlfriend because that's what she does when she has these guys in her life. She'll sleep with them if they're giving her everything that she wants. So that's why they do it. They manipulate too. They run into these women's lives to get sex, to get other benefits. So it's not all a one-way street, of course. But the female covert narcissist is awesome at making themselves out to be the victim, when in fact, they're probably the perpetrator in the relationship. They're probably the abuser in the relationship. Like, for example, the other day when I was taking her daughter to the hospital, literally had done absolutely nothing wrong. Went in the bathroom, didn't have time to shower. I had to wash up with a washcloth, wash my armpits, wash my areas that it needed to be washed because I didn't have time to take a shower at the time because her daughter had an appointment. So that being said, we're in the vehicle. She's making comments about something I was doing in the shower. A lot of times she wanted to say I was doing inappropriate things. I think that was her way of pushing my buttons, getting me all worked up. I warned her. I said, if you keep going on like this, I'm going to cancel the ride. She wouldn't stop. She started talking to her daughter about she started telling the daughter to talk shit about me in the counseling appointment. This is the antisocial personality, guys. She's trying to get me in trouble. She's trying to ruin my reputation. That's what these people do. These people will hurt you. These people could cost you a job. These people could put you in jail. These people can get you arrested. One fight we had a couple weeks ago, she told the police I threw a bag at her, which never happened. I never threw a bag at her. I threw a bag outside my vehicle. It literally missed her completely. And then she throws a box of donuts at my face. So it would have been her getting arrested, not me, because she's the only one that actually committed assault by throwing the donuts at me. Because the bag never hit her. But she had her daughter lie to the police and tell the police that I threw a bag at her, which never happened. I never threw a bag at her. So they'll do fucked up things like that just to get you in trouble. They'll make up stories. She probably told the police several things. Like, for example, one of our last nights together, earlier in the evening, she told me that, since we broke up, why don't you sleep on the floor? I didn't want to sleep downstairs because her father was constantly up all night. Her dad was constantly smoking around the house. He would smoke outside mostly, but he would still bring smoke in with him. Like, even the smell of smoke on his body bothers me. So I would avoid the basement, the first floor area because of the smoke. Even if he was smoking outside, he's still bringing the smell in with him, which I was trying to avoid. So I wanted to stay up in her room with her. Also, I was taking care of her for seizures. She was one of my best friends for like 20 years. We dated for a year. At the end of our relationship, I had become more of a helper. That's why we decided that let's just be friends. Times before this that we were just friends, she always let me sleep in her bed. So that last night visiting, I just slept in her bed thinking, hey, we've done this a million times, even as friends, where I've slept in your bed and it'd just be a harmless thing. We were sleeping like head to toe, so there was nothing going on. But then when I dropped her off at the police station the other day, she complained about me sleeping in her bed. This is all false accusations. When I got up in her bed, she did not say one word about me getting off. She did not ask me to get off the bed. The entire night, she did not ask me to get off the bed. But when she goes to the police station, she's going to make up a false accusation that she didn't want me in her bed. This is a false accusation, you guys. Totally false to get me in trouble. That's what the female covert narcissist will do. She doesn't care if I get in trouble. She doesn't care about my job situation. She doesn't care what happens to me because in her mind, she's made herself out to be a victim in order to gain all this sympathy from all these guys. All these knights in shining armor are going to come run, but it's only a matter of a couple months before she starts doing the same shit to them. Like this woman is pretty borderline. She does love-hate cycles. It's only a matter of time before she starts doing love-hate cycles with the new supply, because she would also probably fit criteria as a female covert narcissist. Look it up. She would probably fit criteria for it because she's doing sneaky behaviors like lying to the police in order to get her boyfriend in trouble. She's doing sneaky behaviors like posting me on Facebook in order to gain all kinds of sympathy, making herself out to be the victim intentionally to get all kinds of support from new supply, new guys. Like for example, one time she went on Facebook, tagged me on Facebook about how her kids' dressers were over to my house because she had planned on moving over here with me. We had brought her kids' dressers over here. And then we like went through a breakup or something and she wanted the dressers back and I had no truck to bring them back. She gets on Facebook, starts telling everybody, literally tags me to 1,300 people about how I'm a piece of shit, about how I took her kids' dressers. What does this do, guys? This is accessing triangulation. So she's triangulating me against other guys. All these guys figure, oh, this is a damsel in distress. We got to help her. What does one of the guys do? He literally comes and brings her son a new bed, brings him a new frame for his bed. This is all manipulation, guys, like I said. And then we got back together like a week later. So that guy did all that work for nothing, thinking he was gonna, get in my girlfriend's pants or become my girlfriend's boyfriend. They do all this shit on purpose, guys. It's manipulation both ways. The knights in shining armors are trying to get laid, so they try to manipulate these women and these single moms. They look for those windows breakups. Like right now, me and my girlfriend have broken up. But I can't go back. I can't. As much as I want to, I really love this person. I care about her. I got to care about her from a distance now. I can't keep being the boyfriend because she wouldn't stop. She wouldn't stop posting me on Facebook. I asked her to her face, please stop posting me on Facebook. She refused to stop posting me on Facebook. She continued to put really nasty posts, that's the antisocial personality. That's how she can do it. She has no regard for my feelings whatsoever, how things affect me or my safety. She goes on to this day. She still has Facebook posts about me to this day. She's making herself out to be the victim in order to gain all these new knights in shining armor, in order to replace me, to get new supply. But it's only a matter of time before she starts in with the love-hate cycles with the new supply. Because she has all these mental health things going on. She has bipolar. She has BPD. She has antisocial personality. She has some closet female covert narcissism going on. Could I be a covert narcissist? It's possible, only because I was a victim of a lot of child abuse. A lot of narcissistic individuals were the victims of child abuse. So I could be BPD. I could be a covert narcissist. I could have antisocial personality disorder. I could be just as mentally unhealthy as my ex-girlfriend. That's why it's important for us boyfriends also to be humble, realize the girlfriend's not the only problem. I had things that I was doing that was not okay during the year that we were dating. For example, one thing I was working on was not yelling. That's why I would constantly remove myself from the situation. That's why I dropped her off at the police station, because I don't want to yell. I don't want to get out of control. But with the female covert narcissist, once they find out what upsets you, that's going to be their toolbox. Like I told her, I don't want to be posted on Facebook, so she constantly posts me on Facebook. I tell her I don't want the police involved, so she gets right on the phone with 911. This is the antisocial personality. They're doing things intentionally to upset you, intentionally to hurt you, because in their mind, they feel justified in hurting you. The saddest part of all is pretty much the only way to deal with these type of individuals is to end the relationship. That's the saddest thing in the world for me, because I didn't want to go away from my ex-girlfriend, but she won't stop the behavior. She won't stop posting me on Facebook. She won't stop calling 911. The police chief calls our relationship toxic. So that's what's going on, guys. Until next time, you can like the video, you can subscribe, you can share, you can check out one of the t-shirts in today's link. Until next time, this is Steve signing out.